Good morning, everyone. The May 10th, 2012 New York City Campaign Finance Board public meeting is now in session. We have minutes from our April 12th meeting. Everyone's had a chance to see them. Do I hear a motion to approve?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
The chair does not have a report this morning. Amy?
I just have a couple of things. First, I want to announce that on April 30th, we issued the 2011-2012 voter assistance report. Also related to that voter assistance work, I just wanted to acknowledge that Art Chang, who is the chair of that, our Voter Assistance Advisory Committee, is being honored by Citizens Union for his work on digital democracy. Also, as the board is aware, there's been much discussion on the state level about a public financing program for state elected offices using the New York City program as a model, and there's been several very flattering articles in the New York Times and in the Washington Post, and so it's very gratifying. The work that we do here has been acknowledged. Next Thursday, I will be on part of a panel discussion put on by New York Civic, discussing how the city's program can be used as a model for the state.
Thank you, Amy. Art, a report from the Voter Assistance Advisory Committee.
Sure, thank you. I just wanted to present some highlights from the 2011-2012 Voter Assistance report that Amy mentioned. This is the first year for the Voter Assistance Advisory Committee, which advises the Campaign Finance Board on voter outreach issues. As you know, we operate right now in an environment of ever increasing and prevalent dissatisfaction between the people and their elected government. And that dissatisfaction is reflected in the degree in which people turn out to vote. We think there's an opportunity to change this. In New York City, there is a huge opportunity to take people who are not active and to engage them in the civic process. And we believe that technology and media can help amplify the already very valuable efforts that we're making using our civic and agency partnerships. So what we're doing is leveraging technology. We have a public and private group that is working to address this. We're leveraging media. We conducted our first town hall on WNYC on the Brian Lehrer Show, which has a weekly reach of about 1 million people. And we're also continuing to leverage our agency and civic partnerships. We formalized, I think, a branding campaign around New York City Votes to increase voter awareness around this brand. We're really making a big focus on youth with our Youth Vote Laureate program and other youth outreach efforts. We're trying to engage military, new citizens, and others in being able to engage in persuading them to vote. And then finally, I think it's very important for us to be very involved in legislative action. So we have tried to work to advocate for making voter registration easier through things like online registration and same-day voter registration to improve the voting experience, and then to provide voters with much better information about what they're doing in the polls.
Thank you very much, Art. This morning we have a candidate appearance. Mr. Bob Zuckerman, please come forward to this table with your representative. So the process here, good morning and welcome.
Good morning.
The process here is Amy and our council will speak about the issues. You'll have a chance to respond to the issues, and some members of the board may want to ask some questions, okay?
Okay.
And then after that, we move into executive session. You're welcome to hang around and see what the final decision is. You don't have to. We'll call you immediately after we vote on a decision here in public, okay?
Okay. Will my treasurer get a chance to address the board as well?
Yes.
Okay.
Sorry. Okay?
Why don't you just, our staff attorney will announce the issues, but why don't you identify yourself for the reporter and the...
Sure. My name is Bob Zuckerman. I was a candidate for City Council in the Democratic primary in the 39th Council District in 2009.
And I'm Matthew Carlin, the treasurer, and the campaigning was Zuckerman 2009. Good morning, Father Parks, members of the board, Executive Director Lopez, Mr. Zuckerman, and Mr. Carlin. My name is Danny Frost, and I'm honored to make my first appearance as CFB counsel. Before the board is the matter of the Bob Zuckerman campaign in the 2009 primary election for City Council District 39. And before the board are recommended violations for 1, accepting contributions from unregistered political committees, 2, accepting an over-the-limit doing business contribution, 3, failing to provide merchant account statements, and 4, exceeding the expenditure limit.
Okay, thank you. Response?
Good morning. Thank you. First of all, I just wanted to say I'm really glad that I participated in this system, and I think it's great news that the state is looking at the city as a model, because I really think that a lot of jurisdictions could benefit from studying what's done here. I would never ever be a campaign treasurer again, but that has nothing to do with the CFB, just because it was way too much work and I didn't get paid. But that said, I am glad that I participated and know about the system, because I think most New Yorkers have no idea that this exists. That said, I would say that we're going to request that the board reduce our penalties as much as possible, because as much as this system should be a model for other places, there are also model candidates who participate in this system. And although there were mistakes made by our campaign, Bob ran a model campaign, and our participation in the system, I think, was ethical, and all of our mistakes were human error, and I believe a lot of them were technical and minor, and none of them showed any indication of bad faith or any kind of anything unethical, I would say. There were, as was mentioned, there were some problems with what we did. I accepted a check about a week before the election for $2,000, and that was my mistake for not checking the doing business as database, and we didn't find out about the donation, it being so close to the election, until a couple weeks after the election, which the money was already spent at that point and there was no way to return it. I'd be happy to talk about that violation more, but again, it wasn't something that was done with any malice. It was a human error on my part. And if the board is required by the rules to penalize Bob for that mistake, then you're bound by the rules. If there's any way that you can reduce that penalty or any of these penalties based on the fact that we were, I believe, the type of campaign and the behavior of a campaign that this board is looking for in candidates for office, and that really, the system that allowed us to have a really fair campaign against the other candidates, because we all had this level playing field that was created by the board. But should I speak to the other violations at this point? The acceptance of campaign donations from unregistered campaigns. The two campaigns we received contributions for, one of them was Assemblyman Dick Godfrey's campaign committee, and the other was a man running for judge named Devin Cohen. And again, these were contributions that we accepted, and yes, I should have checked to see that those were registered campaigns, but I took on faith that a 30-year member of the Assembly and somebody running for judge had followed the rules. I know that it was my responsibility to check, and I admit that. And in fact, we are not denying any of the charges on the table today. We fully admit that we made honest mistakes. We are missing one merchant account statement. I tried to get our merchant account company to give us all the statements. I thought I had gotten them all. One of them was missing. $250 seems egregious for one missing statement, especially since there's no allegation that there was anything on that statement that didn't allow the board to fully see our transactions or anything. I don't think there was any allegation by the auditors that there was something the process was flawed because of that one missing statement. And as to exceeding the expenditure limit, we did make some expenditures at the end of 2008. Our counsel, Leo Glickman, who I believe used to work here, gave us advice that under the rules, if we bought equipment, we bought a computer, a couple computers and a video camera at the end of 2008, we were told that that would count towards our out-of-year expenditures, and we understand that this is a violation of the rule. We did act in good faith with the advice of our counsel. So if those can be reduced at all as well, we request that.
Let me ask you a question. In terms of the contribution from Gary Barnett, who was that contribution from? Was it from Gary Barnett?
Yeah, we do actually believe it was Gary Barnett at this point. We received the check. We believe it was unsolicited, but he was in our database. We had emailed all of our contributors, and the check came in. We did get a contribution card from them when we got the violation, and then when this process was coming, we requested a copy of the check from the bank, and the signature did not match. It was from him. He was in the database.
What was the basis for your telling the board initially in October of '09 that it was from his wife?
Because
what was that based on?
I contacted them and said we had this problem, and they said, "Oh no, it was from her." And
Who said that?
I believe it was Mr. Barnett. I think it was in an email. It might have been a phone call.
Do you have any documentation as to that?
I have the contribution card they sent us with the wife's name on it, which at the time we thought it was correct, and we now know it was not.
The original contribution card? Yes.
There was no contribution card. We just got a check, and since we were way past the point of having to submit documentation to get matching funds, since we'd already received our matching funds, a contribution card isn't required. So when we got the violation from the CFB, we contacted them and said, "What's going on here?" And they said, "Oh no, it was her. She made the contribution," and sent us the card. But the card signature didn't match the check, so we're not alleging that it was her contribution.
So the card they sent you was in her name?
Yes,
Do you have that card? Did you ever submit that card?
we submitted that card.
And do you have anything from the lawyer during this process, verifying that he gave the advice as to all these items?
As to the out year, I don't have it in writing. I don't have it.
Did you ask for during this penalty process, did you ask for it?
We actually did talk to him, but we didn't think to ask for that in writing.
We had a conversation with him on the phone.
But she wants us to pay for it.
Any other
We'll see about that.
Any other questions from the board?
If I may add, with respect to the doing business contribution and setting aside for the moment the issue of whether it was Mr. Barnett or Mrs. Barnett, the CFB staff did inform the campaign on October 6, 2009 to refund the contribution by October 26, 2009.
Right, and the money was.
It was
long gone.
after the campaign, we had already spent the money.
Okay.
Can I just, let me just conclude. First of all, I just want to publicly, I've done this several times, but I want to publicly thank my friend Matt for doing this, for being my treasurer, because it is a lot of hard work. The only thing he got was, a gift for his, some poster for his wall, and he gets to be an honorary brother of honor at my wedding in August. But seriously, I just want to say that the process was a terrific process. It is really, I agree with Matt wholeheartedly, that it is absolutely a model, not just for the city, for the state, for the nation. I think it should be, and it was, just a wonderful experience to participate with you. And in terms of government agencies, I mean, Matt always said these folks are just the best. They're always responsive, and so So I have nothing, only good things to say about the Campaign Finance Board. I just wanted to just, ask for your forbearance as much as possible. It's the kind of thing, I guess the analogy I would make is that, if you're driving in a 55 mile an hour speed limit and you're going 56 or 57, there's really no necessarily intent to violate the law. Have you violated the law if you go a mile or two over the speed limit? Yeah, you have. But there was a good faith effort to keep within the rules, and that's, as Matt said, that's what we did from the very beginning of the campaign, from the very first day when we started this process to right now. So if there's any forbearance that you can give me on these penalties, I would be greatly appreciative.
Thank you very much, Bob.
Thank you.
Okay, we will now move into executive session. Right here. We are now back in public session, and we will have votes on penalties, and I turn it over to Amy.
The first candidate is Helen Marshall, candidate for Queensborough President in the 2009 election. $250 for accepting a corporate contribution, $125 for accepting a contribution from an unregistered political committee, $250 for accepting an over-the-limit doing business contribution, $855 for using an entity other than the principal committee in furtherance of the election, and $250 for failing to document transactions, for total penalties of $1,730.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
Next, we have candidate Donald Pagano, candidate in the 2009 special election for City Council District Number 49. A $3,289 penalty for failing to respond to the draft audit report. A $100 penalty for making non-campaign related and improper post-election expenditures. And $100 for failing to file a daily disclosure statement, for total recommended penalties of $3,489.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
Finally, we have candidate Bob Zuckerman, for candidate in the 2009 election for City Council District Number 39. $225 for accepting contributions from unregistered political committees. $2,000 for accepting an over-limit doing business contribution. $50 for failing to provide merchant account statements. And $1,603 for exceeding the expenditure limit, for total recommended penalties of $3,878.
So moved.
All in favor? Aye. Now a vote on public fund payment and repayments.
Recommending a payment to Donald Pagano in the amount of $4,906, from which his penalties that the board just voted on would be withheld, for a total payment of $1,417.
So moved.
All in favor? Aye.
And then for Bob Zuckerman, recommend a public funds repayment of his final bank balance.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. And now a vote on a Hunley Adasa petition.
The board has before it a 502A petition from Delia Hunley-Dosa, a candidate for City Council, District 38 in the 2009 election. The staff recommends that the board deny that 502A petition.
Motion.
So moved.
Second. All in favor? Aye. I'm willing to, there being no further business, I'm willing to entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
All in favor? Aye. That concludes today's meeting. Thank you.